But I want to get straight to the Governor-General, Sam Mostyn, who is joining me in Bondi. Thank you for joining me, Governor-General. I really appreciate it. Firstly, let's just start by talking how you're feeling down there at the moment.
Oh, Holly, it's a scene of great sombreness still. The flowers, as you can see behind me, are growing. There are large tributes of flowers on the front end of the beach with people leaving messages. Catastrophically, there are still little memorials of shoes and towels and thongs that had to be abandoned in the rush to get out. There are reminders everywhere here of the absolute carnage, the catastrophe, what a terror attack looks like, and then what the aftermath looks like. But there's also such a spirit here of coming to pay respects, to lay floral tributes, to enter into conversations. There's many people here in quiet discussions with each other. There are going to be a number of ecumenical gatherings with prayer across religions. There's much to be hopeful about what we see as people come here. And what I'm very happy about, and I came via a new organisation that's been stepped up this morning. It's a community support hub at the North Bondi RSL, not far from here. And that's open from 10 o'clock this morning. I spent the first hour there with them. Of course, it was the North Bondi RSL Club that received some of the first bodies, some of the first gunshot wound victims, and we're dealing with them in real time. That was a place of carnage as well. And to see the turnaround and the generosity of the North Bondi RSL, the biggest RSL club in the country with one of the youngest memberships, repaying everything they feel they get from the Bondi and Jewish community here back into that, and now setting up with the New South Wales Government a support centre for everybody to come and actually find counselling, to see Lifeline, to see Red Cross, to find their way back through Jewish counsellors and the like. I think that's been a really important start to the day, that the services are kicking in, and I'm sure there will be thousands of people who will be heading to that support centre. So there's a lot happening here, and of course we're almost at the 1 week anniversary, which is extraordinary to think about what has happened in just a few short days since the carnage and the terror of Sunday night.
It is incredibly heavy. It's been a horrible week, to say the least, on a number of fronts. We've heard some, incredible stories of humanity that have come out of this moment. I'm sure you would have heard about or seen the paddle out today down there as well, people coming together. And as you said, just immense support coming out for people that are really hurting at the moment. Of course, you'll understand, and without getting too political here, there is a lot of anger bubbling beneath the surface, and rightly so, from the Jewish community particularly. Do you understand their community frustration with our government?
So I was just listening to the Prime Minister's press conference. I was with the Premier and many leaders last night in the Central Synagogue to pay respect at a very sacred Jewish ceremony with the Israeli ambassador, with the Commonwealth rabbi. Of course there is anger. Of course there is much that is yet to be unpacked and debated. And of course I just have to remind all of the people that watch you and that watch me around wherever I go, I'm not a member of the government. I am absolutely something quite different. I have no politics, I have no policies, I have no money to dispense, no programs to give. I am what Sir Zelman Cowen, the Jewish Governor-General, from whom I've taken great light since before I started in this role, said, explained the role. The role of the Governor-General is to be above and beyond and to be the person who represents Australia all the time. But in these moments, he always said that it was the job of the Governor-General to reflect the light and shade of the country, to interpret the country back to itself, and then to act as almost like a lightning rod for the healing and unity that the country must now pursue. I believe deeply in the words of Sir Zelman Cowen and of another predecessor of mine, Sir William Dean, still alive in Canberra as a 94-year-old, who told me when I started in this role that the job is about acts of compassion and standing beside communities always. From the moment this occurred, I have been standing beside the Jewish community. I've been calling this absolutely as an anti-Semitic attack on Jewish Australians, on Jews around the world. A heinous, ghastly, atrocious of a kind we should never have expected in this country. It is indeed a moment of shade, as Sir Zelman Cowen described it. Now, there are many, many people who are calling out to me, yelling at me. I'm happy to absorb their pain and their anger at the moment, telling me that I should sack governments, that I should have sacked governments before. I guess it's an important civics lesson just to remind people that that is not one of my powers in these moments, that there are matters before governments and before politicians that are dealt with in our responsible and representative government, our system of government, our democracy, which is the envy of the world, where the power of who is in office in the states and territories and our local governments and at the Commonwealth level are held by the people. Compulsory voting, independent electoral commission, all of these things act to make us a beacon of the world with our democracy. And in moments like this, of course, people are angry, and I know they're directing their pain and their anger in many directions, and I'm happy to take their pain and absorb that and then reflect the fact that my job is to help people know where those solutions sit, and they don't sit with the Office of the Governor-General. What sits with me is to hold the country, to hold the very best of us, to know that two things can be true at the same time, that the very best things can be happening while the very worst things are happening. And we saw that on Sunday night, and we'll keep seeing that if we let it. We'll keep seeing bad things in response to the good things we're seeing, the rise of the community, a communitarian spirit around the country, a deep care for Jewish people, for the Jewish community. I've seen it not just in the synagogues I've been visiting, the funerals, the unspeakable funerals I've attended, including of Matilda, the hospital beds I've been sitting beside talking to the police officers who were injured. I've been in all of these places talking to AMBOs, talking to surf lifesavers, talking to first-line responders. The good in our country is so profound, and our nation of volunteers and community and the generosity we've got to hold fast to. I was at Jewish House yesterday. I spent some time with the rabbi there, Rabbi Kestel, and we were talking about how long do we need to talk about anti-everything, anti-Semitism, anti-Islamophobia, anti-immigration. Anti is a big word that separates us straight away. This is coming from a rabbi who I was listening to help form my ability to talk to the Australian public. And he said, what if we all just united and made sure everyone knows that they belong in this mighty country? And what if we all committed to a mitzvah? What if we got 5 million mitzvahs? For the Jewish community, that's a clear signal. That's an act of kindness. That's a small thing that we do right now, anywhere we are in the country. What if we had millions of mitzvahs that we were sharing with each other, reaching out importantly to the Jewish community, but to all communities that are hurting? You know, there was a catastrophic car accident, a single car accident in Cobram in Victoria on Monday, where 4 lives were lost. I was in touch with the mayor there while we were dealing with this catastrophe. These acts of kindness to make sure that communities who are doing it tough know that we care about all of these tragedies, but this one in particular, given the character of it, we have got to move through and use the fact that we are in the middle of Hanukkah. And the last light of Hanukkah will be lit tomorrow night on the anniversary of this terror attack. And we have got to take light from this dark moment. We have done that in the course of our history on other occasions. I hope, Holly, that Australians know that I'm standing firm with the Jewish community, with the Australian community. My job is it's not just about hope and not just about words. It's to say, I see that we have the capacity to get through this, but we have healing to deal with, we have anger to deal with. All of these things are part of recovery, and they're in the hands of people here at Bondi, around the country, and I stand with everyone who is doing it so tough right now and want to let them know that I won't waver in my project, along with the Australian people, to make sure we get through this well and can look back and say we knew what to do in a moment that could have ripped us apart.
Sam Mostyn, some powerful words there from you, and I know you said that you were a lightning rod back to the government here too, and a lot of people feel that our leaders have failed us during this time. I'm going to let you go because I can see there, obviously, it's incredibly hot down there, and I really appreciate you joining us today. Thank you very much. Take care.
It's a pleasure. Holly, can I say one last thing? Often the Office of the Governor-General is doing things quietly, persistently, behind the scenes. Since I started this role, when I said I'd put care, kindness and respect at the centre of everything I've done, I've used a sentence in every speech I've given, which is the need for our country to show care in the way we handle the toughest issues of our time, without anger, rancour, violence and hate, but to be able to debate well, to actually enter into things we disagree with and respect one another. I've been saying that for 16 months about all of the issues that have come to diaspora communities and everyone here. And in that time, I have met with the National Union of Jewish Students. I've had the Holocaust survivors come in and join me for afternoon tea to tell the story of the Holocaust and remind me about how we tell that story over and over. I've met with all the rabbis who were affected in Victoria by those terrible fires. The work has always gone on, and in my job, it's always about showing up. Even if the public doesn't know, this community knows that I will always stand against anti-Semitism, and I stand for unity and for what the country now needs to do. And I want to give you that assurance that I'll never take my eye off the things that matter to every Australian.
Sam Mostyn, I'm sure a lot of people need to hear that now more than ever. Thank you very much for joining us.